Yeah, hello. You know, and the United States Secret Service. Yeah, and why I'm making this video. Secret Service. Chiki chiki coco wako. Tomato arigarao. Arigarao. It's been important for since almost a couple of months. This month they will do it.
You may be eligible for the Jeep program. Enjoy this month's lease and finance offers when you upgrade to a safer, more reliable Jeep. Call for details on the
Secret
Jeep
Service
program.
That is. I say, arigato. And you know, doing the war. And you know why they came to fire me. And you know. Aqui, hora até. Aliga. Uma beleza, ok. Ok, mas vou tomar uma. Vou tomar uma. Não. Bambi, Trouble. Oh.
Stories in the news. The good guy uses a gun to his family criminals, and then he's
We are the United States Secret Service working on a case here in California.
What does it mean to shop with the Band and Orchestra Authority? We embrace the pursuit of music as a pastime and a profession. At Woodwind and Brasswind, we evolved with the first all the way to that pivotal moment. With over 90,000 instruments and accessories in stock, you'll find what you need at that moment unforgettable. So no matter where your ambition takes you, we're part of the path.
No. I don't know, argue with them. Adiga. What are you doing? One are used to be different from the other. Oh God. I say adiga. You know. Adiga. Me. I'm coming. Yeah. I say,
that starts to be outer ring. So protective methodology in these concentric rings, you want to address those types of threats as far out as possible. Tradecraft. And oftentimes people look at the president and they have blinders of their own action of what they're doing around the president. Here we see a young woman who starts hugging the president and doesn't let go. She's not doing it out of malice. She's just starstruck that the president is there. The Secret Service has to be mindful that this would take the president's life, but it is nettlesome. We have to address this because it can cause a safety issue in the operating environment of the president. Sometimes the actions that Secret Service agents take are not even realized by the people in the crowd. Here we see Special Agent Chard agents carefully removing the arm of the individual away from the president. The president doesn't realize what's happening, individual, but this is tradecraft. This is what they train for, and it happens right here. Or we're seeing
ham radio just like this one could save your life, especially the internet or your cell phone's not available. It's critical that Americans in a crisis or preparing for the next emergency communicate their families, others in their community, and get vital information they need. The same radio technology emergencies by the police, the military, and disaster relief organizations is available to American citizens.
Candidate Trump speaking. Some of the rest of the comes towards the podium. Secret Service agent is immediately up onto the stage. The ship with them. They provide 360 degrees of cover. Once the threat is taken away, the president can go back to giving his speech. Technically, they can also be mitigated just as fast. Media is information. Viral quickly. There are times that the Secret Service, in conjunction with the military and the White House, take the president on a classified trip. That action was much easier. You could go under the cover of darkness. You could deploy a low-profile protective methodology where we're not going around with lights and sirens. The problem with social media today is everything becomes public. So the example of the president going over to and trying to track that aircraft becomes easier. And now we have the president's location on a classified mission. Just think about how dangerous that is for the United States Secret Service, the military, and the president himself. Social media is a challenge not for just understanding what protectees are. It's also a new
Secret Service,
and social media has become this for making protectees. But every threat that comes into the Secret Service has to be investigated. The pathway is the same way. We need opportunity intent for somebody to cause harm to our protectee.
U.S. Secret Service, man.
The threat environment is getting unpredictable. Secret Service is mindful of that. So we have to constantly look back and say, how do we improve? How do we get better? Yes, we came out of that environment, nothing happened. But is there something that we could have done better?
Going on here today?
At the Kennedy assassination, no one had thought that someone would try to shoot the president from a long range as they were traveling. Think about how difficult that shot is to make. It's a moving target. It's small from a distance. So when the Secret Service at that time was looking at it, was mindful that there's a probability that an event like that could happen, but the likelihood. So on this day in Dallas, we saw some things that was anything that may affect the president or the first lady. What's different here this time as compared to today is the motorcade route itself, how it's secure. Back on either side of the motorcade, as you'll see, the crowd can get very close. So at any moment, someone could step into the crowd and block that motorcade. Today, based upon what we know, we ensure that all presidential motorcades have some sort of barrier and are posted by law enforcement to ensure that threats can't come cross in front of the motorcade. Additionally, what we're seeing in this angle
U.S.
is a great
Secret
view
Service
of the President and First Lady. You'll never see that today, because after this tragic day in American history, the Secret Service learned a very vital lesson: never to allow the President of the United States to ride in an air vehicle. The Secret Service would rather have the President in an armored vehicle away from the public where they're not engaging, thus reducing the risk. However, that's just video of President Obama from the inauguration getting out of this limo. This is a carefully coordinated event that had a very specific security construct built around it. All concentric rings have been mitigated. Our protective methodology hasn't changed. We're providing 300 degrees of coverage. We're seeing the crowds are completely separated by barricades. So we will not have a surge onto the also police postings here, here, here. Every 7 feet, there was another member of the law enforcement or military community providing security for this event. Every agent in this image has a very specific role. See the agents on the left and right-hand sides who are there to address the threats if anyone is to immediately come over the barricade. September 1975, President Ford leaving a hotel in San Francisco. Just after leaving the hotel, taking the emergency action drill that they have trained for, took the president and covered and evacuated him. They're putting him down. Ever since this day, every attempt had occurred. All the agents that you're seeing in here starting to face the protectee. The lesson learned from President Ford that we saw earlier, this limo door is open. One of the key elements of a Secret Service agent is putting yourself between the threat and the protectee. Here, we mitigated a potential loss of life by instituting policy because of President Ford always to have a world. Imagine the tragic scenario that we'd be in if this door was at that time. Secret Service agent react the way that they do. As we have seen, the protective model evolves over time. It's always trying to evolve and get better. They're reassessing every action that they take on every single trip to ensure always remain a target. Changed. What are the different tactics that have used? They've become more dynamic because our mandate is action. We have to put ourselves between the threat and the protectee. And that means that we have to stand up tall when there's going to go address the threat head on. We have to become the barrier between that threat, whether it's a sharp-edged weapon, a gun, doesn't matter. We have to stand in between that threat and the protectee. We understand that it's just not normal to want to put yourself in between a gun and a protectee.
You could be yelling at my message, we yell like beat, I got off. Yeah, be talking to me, bye.
To us at Hellmann's, taste is everything. Starts with great ingredients.
Got off, yeah,
like 100% cage-free eggs.
Whoa.
Because it helps. We know the food.
There are no bringing the hand
what they
mouth
go
or the jaw in
yeah.
deception, or grooming gestures like fixing indicator of deception.
They don't know what to do. They're confused.
Criminal behavioral analysis, profiling, active listening, intervention. We also study, teach, consult on, and conduct investigative interviews. But the goal of black deception detection, where we take at looking at many different types of indicators. We look at fight or flight, cognitive complexity, presenting the physiological changes that occur when someone's under stress. Stress can indicate lying or increasing to the hands and legs. Because our primitive brain wants to tell us to either stand
one that they want to have it, but
you can't. Your hands or your legs.
They want to have it,
and then try to cover them in a group.
This isn't God to protect his family.
Honestly, which one things with your
court system.
And when they're preparing to lie,
That can
That's
come out
exactly
in
you,
more grooming
unless
gestures.
you're fully prepared.
Sometimes there's
Here's
gross
how
body
you
movement.
can take a
There's
simple,
no better example
journey
of
to
this.
concealed
When
carry
Jerry
at home units.
went
It's
over
called
to
the
the
Concealed
wall,
Carry
did a
and Family
handstand
Defense
for
Guide,
several
and it's
seconds.
from the
It's a short
U.S.
burn off
Concealed
that
Carry
nervous energy.
Association,
It's a
and
perfect
it's
example of fight or flight.
100% free. You'll learn.
The concept of cognitive complexity is that when people lie, they try to keep it as simple as possible. They also lie typically only about two senses, what they hear and what they see. They don't necessarily add shallow level.
Remember, I tell you.
So if you think about it, cutting an onion in half, and you look at the rings of that onion, typically liars will lie about the first ring.
Together, U.S.
Football. Who scored the last touchdown? Typically, that will fall apart.
We are working on
Answers. The fact that they're really stand out. Perception management is when the suspect tries to behave in a way the interviewer would expect from somebody giving a truthful statement. So the suspect might believe that fidgeting would indicate lying. They'll be very still when they're telling the lie so as not to give it away. But the fact is, throughout the other time, they may have been fidgeting all the time. And then the stillness is actually the indicator that they're deceiving. Then we look at verbal and non-linguistic verbal communication. Verbal indicators of deception can include words such as sort of, almost, kind of. When words like that are interjected in a sentence, what follows is the teller doesn't even have confidence in. For example, I sort of did my homework. Go to work. Behavior that could are choosing their behavior. Someone who's been sitting straight and answering questions directly and looking at eyes when they're under the stress of lying. So you have to look at changes in those physical behaviors.
For you.
U.S.
In the end, it comes down to what we are all most comfortable with their home on the market. We were able to talk about marketing and staging strategies, review comparables, and we'll be signing electronically. We can do so much with the modern technology that we have. If you have any questions, do not hesitate to call me, text, or send me an email.
Yeah, we have it.
This was my phone before CallJoy. My phone now.
Thanks for calling Leo's Plumbing. In a few words, how can I help you?
As a small business owner, my to-do list is never ending. I don't always have time to answer every call. Thankfully, I found CallJoy, a customized agent that's available to answer every call I receive, 24 hours a day. I'll never miss a call again. Setup takes less than 5 minutes. CallJoy records and transcribes all my incoming calls, so I can review them anytime. My CallJoy agent responds to the unique needs of each customer. It understands essential information about my business and uses it to answer common questions. I no longer have to deal with calls about my own hours or how to schedule an appointment. The CallJoy agent saves me time, so I can focus on urgent client requests and more. I want my customers to have a great experience, and I want my business to sound professional. When customers call, I have actions set up to handle every request. For example, if they're calling with a basic question about open hours, the location, agent responds to them. If they want to make a reservation, CallJoy sends them a link to my website. If they want to speak with us directly, the agent routes the calls to whatever number I want. Boom. Best of all, I get insights into all incoming answer. Before CallJoy, I had no idea that my business was missing 20% of calls. As a small business owner, CallJoy helps save me time.
Non-linguistic verbal indicators of deception could increase in the pace of talking, an increase or decrease in the volume, a change in pitch. Sometimes
okay, man? Put the back down. Police, drop the back.
I want you to take the notion that you have about what we do in the Secret Service that you've seen on the movies, on TV shows. I want you to throw it out the window. The Secret Service is the premier law enforcement world. It is by far the best detective agency that's ever been. Zero on your shoulders. You have to earn it every single day.
This is Secret Service Boot Camp. Before you join the Secret Service, all recruits have to graduate from the agency's 6-month training program. It's here at the James J. Rowley Training Center in Laurel, Maryland, located about 20 miles north of Washington.
Welcome to the James J. Rowley United States Secret Service Training Center.
On day one, a new recruit arrives at the academy.
Have a seat. Every one of you sitting here right now, there was about 100 very difficult training process. You should be congratulated. And I hope you celebrate because the celebration time is over. Now's the time for Saturday. You will go
Begin service-specific training. These recruits spend federal law enforcement training center in Argentina, Mexico. Before returning to Maryland, 3 more months of focused training. Marksmanship and combat. And
I didn't do it.
You're going to hear a phrase over and over and over again throughout your training. In particular, the Secret Service has a zero-fail mission. What that means in layman's terms, ladies and gentlemen, is this. You don't get bad day in the Secret Service. There's plenty of other pursuits out there, noble pursuits, lawyers, plumbers, firemen, doctors. If one of those folks has a rough night, the night before, it's out late. They have to deal with some kind of disciplinary action. Everyone that does this.
All right. I said the only thing he can depend on that ball.
Class. Their first week focuses on a physical evaluation and getting rid of any bad habits that may have brought into the academy.
We left yesterday without chairs being pushed in, and now we can't pay attention to detail after the detail given out. And we're laughing and joking again. It is going to be an extremely long week. Do not make plans because that ain't happening.
Although we were allowed to film inside the academy, our access was limited.
There are certain things that we will not any other members of the media here, and that's really for the safety of our protectees. We don't want to advertise
For example, we weren't able to film any training that incorporated this partial replica of Air Force One.
49 to 60. This message is for you. New rules in 2020 now make it easier much easier to be designed to help you if you're currently out of work. I'm sure you remember those deductions being taken out of your paycheck. Just a simple to get started. Click the link below. Then on the next page, answer a few questions, and you'll be back.
Go through. Remember, there you see.
I rely on this ham radio to keep me informed on a variety of things from the weather, road conditions, emergency.
Protective methodologies that we use for some of our protection. Clearly, some of those things we cannot share. And that's where we have to make sure that we're not giving any sort of an advantage to others out there.
United States Secret Service, America's first line of defense against the counterfeiter and crack.
Secret Service, whose foremost duty is protecting the President of the United States and his family.
Secret Service began its protective mission after the 1901 assassination of President William McKinley.
That's a Secret Service watch.
Personal bodyguard. I go where he goes. I want to say, anybody who has no business with him
Better look
Secret
out.
Service.
And believe me, I don't mean maybe.
Since the Secret Service began its protective mission, the president has remained. Since 1901, President Kennedy has been the sole president to die at the hand of an assassin, despite when a gunman opened fire on the White House while President Clinton
is truly worthy of trust confidence.
For new agents and officers starts as low as $47,000 a year. Potential process.
Generally,
blow it my
background checks.
I can move.
Is a scenario involving a potential threat to a protectee.
So, there's nothing to do with this.
Recruits also engage with role players who create realistic
office
scenarios. This plays a big part in training.
Protect the same point. The training that we provide enhances that mission, that foundational drive that
Recruits also experience
safety come first. When I play you give a damn about anything I see. Security can fight. You like the sorry, I'm about social security,
which simulates
all the security agencies that
recruits learn control,
even safety, safety,
and subdue an
before
assailant.
anything.
Male and female
First
recruits trained together basic training.
First come first.
Approximately 7,000 people. One of the most challenging parts of training occur recruit exposed to tear gas. We didn't bring our camera inside the gas chamber, but we did convince an officer to shoot in with an iPhone, showing us what it's like for recruits when they're exposed to the gas. Mission against the backdrop of an intense election year in a nation divided by politics.
We protect the office of the president. We're not going to appoint these. It matters to us who the people elect. We're going to protect those individuals from the same zealousness that we need to do, and that's all for us.
Then so time in it. You go say you did it dog on the keys, shit, dog. I'm in the
inside the basic training programs of military and law enforcement agencies to find out what join the ranks of those willing to make the sacrifice to protect and serve their country.
Open your mouth, man. Keep going. That's how you stop.
This is Coast Guard Boot Camp. Before they get to serve in the United States Coast Guard, all recruits have to graduate from the Coast Guard's 8-week basic training program.
It's not easy. There's a reason the program is designed as is. We have people from all walks of life that come here. It is a small portion of the youth of this nation that are at least attempting to raise their hand and do something bigger than themselves.
You are crazy.
Basic training here at United States Coast Guard Training Center, Cape May, located at the southernmost point of New Jersey.
Normal
Before
thing
they
that
get to
happens.
Cape May, all incoming recruits report to the USO
I
Lounge
think
in
go to the
Philadelphia
golf on the
Airport.
cage. And when
It's
you
where
look
they
at it,
spend
they
their
didn't know
final
that some kind of
moments
thing that happened.
beginning their journeys as Coast Guardsmen.
Why am I doing this? I don't know. It sounded like a good opportunity. My grandfather was in the Coast Guard.
My mom's whole side of the family was in the Navy, but I didn't really feel like the Navy was my calling, and the Coast Guard felt right.
I don't have a ton of money, man. I don't come from money, so I couldn't really afford school. So
Remember,
I
tell
could do
you,
this without
see.
accruing a large amount of debt. So
I'm nervous about honestly just the yelling. Something you just
Get up
as a
forever.
day-to-day life as a civilian.
This is the last non-stressful meeting you're going to have for the next several weeks. It's a learning experience. Their teaching methods are just a tad different than what you're used to. They're going to get into a world that's ready to perform.
The incoming recruits enjoy what little downtime they have left
Get out the hallway, let's go!
before they line up and head to the bus that will drive them to Cape May.
You go do something, and you're telling them, say, stop using the jam, stop making it work. They know that they're meant to do the thing, they're meant to send a dog, they're meant to just open the keys, they're meant did everything on purpose. Then we're telling them to stop using the jam.
Obviously, there's a shock and awe factor to it. Kind of
They go
everything.
tell you, say that a normal thing that.
While we do need to instill that little bit of fear and sense of urgency in them that evening, the main goal is get them in the building and get them processed and get the paperwork where it needs to go.
Problem. Sound cool. And teaching each other it will sound cool. Cool message.
The first incarnate Coast Guard was born in 1790. Secretary of the Treasury Alexander lobbied Congress to construct a fleet of 10 large ships or cutters intended to enforce tariffs on vessels entering. In 1915, the U.S. Revenue Cutter Service merged with the U.S. Life-Saving Service, formed what we know today as the United States Coast Guard. Since then, the Coast Guard has been in every major United States military conflict. Today, the Coast Guard has 40 men and women on active duty, and over 30,000 more serving in reserve and auxiliary capacities. And it all begins here. On a cold week in November, we spent 4 days at Training Center Cape May to observe different companies at various stages of the 8-week boot camp.
Boot camp itself, it is whatever you make it. You do what you're told, yes sir, no sir, aye sir, and it's as simple as that.
First, the new recruits are issued uniforms.
Next in line. On this way.
And after standard vaccinations, the male recruits get a free haircut. Then it's time for the initial physical fitness assessment. Recruits have to do as many push-ups and sit-ups as they can in 1 minute. Finally, there's a 1.5 mile run. Male recruits have 14 minutes to finish the run. Female recruits have 17 minutes. Not every recruit passes on their first try.
We train the troops.
Yep, 5 minutes to finish this test. Most of
all Coast Guard recruits have to pass a 3-part swimming test.
Go ahead, step to the edge.
First, jumping into the pool from a split platform.
Step off.
Then, a 100-meter swim. And last, they have to tread water 5 minutes.
My billionaire step
Don't
father.
have to be expert swimmers. Remedial swimmers are allowed to wear flotation devices. After all of this physical exertion, The recruits have up an appetite, which means it's time for lunch, or as it's known in Cape May, chow. But chow isn't a time for relaxation or chatting with your fellow recruits. Opposite.
My man.
Let's go. Move your feet. How about you move a little faster, man? No, get out. You have someone right there telling you where to go.
This should be one of the most relaxing times they have, you would think.
You're not special. And you didn't say last night like we told you. A razor never touched your face. As soon as you get back from medical, I am taking you in and ensuring that you're safe.
I always think that you get a little.
Y'all want to eat all the thing by accident.
Fire. It was Alex.
Before they can eat, recruits are randomly stopped by company commanders and tested to answer correctly. They're allowed to pass and eat them.
Carry on. Tell me about Douglas Monroe. It's not on the deck.
Those who failed to answer are ordered to document mistakes on a performance tracker, which is collected and reviewed every day by their company commanders.
Just goes to sound time into training. A sense of urgency in everything we do, and keep them sharp.
Carry on. You don't respond to carry on.
Going outside the game.
Their company pays for
we still kitchen the. I'm glad you agree. Fire, fire, fire.
When recruits hear their company command fire, fire, it often means they're about to get smoked.
Look at that, man. Look out, man. Man. M-E-N.
The smoke sessions, if you will, are
M-E-N, man.
Of energy to reinstill that.
Stop anticipating in front of you. I was walking through their squad bays. Their racks weren't made properly. Just little.
At the end of it, you're still back.
Much, but we still not meeting those standards, and that's why we use these tools.
She's telling them to stop.
Have we had enough? We have to also be held up.
Falling.
You get what I'm
yeah, I mean, crazy. Then I'm telling you that. Then you call it, then crazy.
Recruits in need of even more motivation enter a program known as RAMP.
To stop
they have in place for the recruits who don't seem to
grasp you have to do that or stop to the jump.
That's how they operate.
And weren't being ordered by their company commanders.
Get over here, Wentler! Get over here, Wentler! I don't understand why the
I'm about to flip.
Say it. You. Shut your mouth! So take it. Tell me if you want. Not good to go. Get upright. Fly away from me.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man.
How you doing? Dallas Lerner here. Just working a laptop coffee shop, and I got a question for you. Have you ever seen those people at a coffee shop who don't seem like they have that doubt? They're drinking their coffees, they're working on their laptops, maybe they're shooting the breeze with some friends who look as relaxed as they are, and they walk out of the coffee shop and drive away in a $100,000 car, and you're just going to ask yourself, what is close a $10,000 mission through me? This stuff happens every that hard to do if you years in the trenches, minding coffee shops, not always being this pumped up, some days having really rough days, trying to make go of it. Don't get into what I called the coffee shop viewership.
Oh, you
This
got pay
making
for
money
it
from a
online.
computer, sipping your coffee without a care in the world. So download my free training. Click
Yeah,
the
paid
button
it.
right around this video to get my free
Almost
training.
like
It's going to tell you everything you need to know. It's going to tell you how you can chill out, pump the brakes on the stress, quit your job, get out of the rat race, be chilling at the coffee shop, working on your laptop, making big bucks. It's a great life. Can't wait to see you there.
I think I made somebody angry every day. They just calling they crazy. Oh, they calling people crazy. And you're telling you say you crazy. And then
This was my phone before I called you.
you know that charm talking of. Then you talking about calling psychiatry people. Talking about calling
The recruits actually spend
somebody to come all kind of things. Yeah, do.
Training.
What about us? So charm talking
It's
about.
almost, we use the term sometimes that it's like drinking information through a fire hose.
Recruits are trained to fake fire. Giving the
He know that they know the time the charm can work. So on the time working, they just plan to do something bad to you.
Practice on our knots right now, so everybody get your landing.
Then when you go talk back
in this class,
they make false crime all right.
Towards our character spotted this, and while the recruit
They go make false crime.
for the offense, the entire company would have to pay the price.
So you go tell them some kind of thing. They go make false crime all right.
Do people want to act like
she just keep putting the door behind. We're talking about it. Then he there back in the charm business. She using the so charm business. The same thing you just did to it, and the same thing she can be doing. Sometimes you not yet she's doing the thing with the dog.
So you're just gonna remind yourself.
Every day they call somebody crazy. Why we tell it to stop it? Stop calling somebody crazy.
Get it up, Lincoln! Up!
Yeah.
Had a few minutes for that there, Victor. Thank you, shitmate. Thank you. We know self-discipline.
You might think a small
Put
it down, but we advise you do not put it down because you will be holding the water bottle up for a long time.
Taking a nice little break, Yelton. Taking a immediate recognition for doing well. I let them set their own pace. You know, I'm saying all of you as a team are going to keep it up. You didn't make it, let's over. So really productive. Taking a nice little rest there with your hands on.
But they want just for their own purpose now, just to go do something with the person. Oh yeah. Just to go do something to the person that on Tuesday.
When the whistle blows and you get
anytime.
Drop the canteen.
Before graduation, recruits receive orders where they'll be stationed after they leave Cape May.
Davis, where do you want to go, Davis?
Yeah, with the United States Secret Service.
All the way across my Puerto Rico. You got Hawaii. That's pretty good. Where do you want to go?
Recruits can request the region or district where they prefer to be stationed after graduation. Their requests aren't always granted.
Where do you want to go? California! We're going to Alabama! Woo! Alabama!
On the Friday of week 8, the recruits are ready for graduation. Friends and family gather for their first glimpse of the recruits system of boot camp.
They feel joy. They know that they have done something that is physically and emotionally challenging. They're satisfied that they've done it. The parents are impressed because many times the parents see them for the first time as an adult, as an adult. We get a lot of credit for the change that goes on here. In a lot of cases, we're just standards. That's that you've actually done it. And that's, I think, what you see in the room today.
Meanwhile, at Sexton Hall, boot camp is just beginning for Whiskey, who first addressed by Captain Owen Gibbons, the commanding officer of Training Center.
I can make you read your ball. We will prove to you that you can do more than you ever thought yourself capable of. Promise you that you meet every single standard of this program in order to graduate. But we will meet the develop in you the knowledge that you will need to leave here and immediately begin performing frontline Coast Guard missions in service. You understand that? Promise number 3, you will be safe. Let me say that again. Safe. Train in an environment that is free from intimidation or discrimination based on your race, creed, color, gender, station. You will not be assaulted and you will not be harassed. Do you understand that? Yes, sir! You can do this. The person in this room is capable of completing this program. The truth is that we need you to. All over there are units that are sailing short-handed. There are empty racks because those units are waiting for you to join them as they serve the American public. But the only question on our mind is, are you ready?
Oh no! Oh no!
On a scorching Monday in July, over 1,200 candidates arrive at U.S. Military Academy for Reception Day, also known as R Day. It marks the beginning of their time at West Point.
All day long, the new cadets will do a transformation from their civilian status, and at the end of the day, take to service in the Army.
Why did you decide to come to West Point?
Both my brothers went here, and I wanted to join the Army afterwards, so there's no better school to do that. All of my uncles, they served in the Army. And there's all about the school, how they, all the views that came from it, so I just want to follow in the footsteps.
miles north of New York City. It's in the Hudson Highlands. It's called West Point because it's located on it's a strategic point of interest because they had to tack as they came through the Hudson River. It's the longest continuously garrisoned military in the United States.
Ladies and gentlemen.
After a short orientation, the cadet candidates have 60 seconds to say goodbye to families. For the next 6 weeks, contact them. Once they leave, Eisenhower candidates are now called new cadets.
New cadets! Let's go! Up to the table!
And pass a medical exam to be able to mission in the Army and have high academic achievement.
Tuition is free. The cadets commit to years of service after graduation.
After their 4 years at component.
Where else you get there?
You need a bag that holds everything carried for the next 6 weeks. Their next stop, the barber shop. Required to cut their hair. Female cadets get to keep their locks.
Hi, how are you? Thinking about West Point? Maybe. Brother, sister here? Pretty exciting.
West Point started with women in 1976. Today, more than 20% of cadets are female.
God bless you. God bless you.
Of the class of 2022 are women.
Close that gap.
So we've seen a huge surge, not only in the interest and women applicants, attention of women cadets.
The new cadets are assigned to basis of taking orders and marching in formation.
We have upperclassmen from the junior and senior class here leading the new cadets. So this is a leadership.
The thing the new cadets learn on our day culminates in the oath ceremony.
Very important.
Raise your right hand and repeat after me.
One of the most common traits that I see is want to be part of a team that's bigger than themselves.
Fully accepted into the cadets.
Only 6 weeks, I can tell you that. My day, but I know it's going to be long and hard, but I'm prepared for it. I feel like it's going to suck, but in the end, it's all worth it.
I think it's going to everything changes over time, but I think if you embrace the suck, it's going to be okay. You're going to get through it.
I can't hear you. They're trying to.
This is Marine.
That'll find some more, bro.
South Carolina.
Come on, bro.
All recruits have to graduate from the Marine Corps. 13
Smart. Yo, smart, bro. Yo, smart.
It's a pressure.
Eat it.
Pressure. Drill instructor. Someone.
Y'all got me doing it.
Every single day. Everything. It's boot camp. And it's supposed to prepare you to life beyond.
Tomato.
Days in Harris Island, different companies at various stages of
Stop.
training.
I don't know why I gotta be doing that. I gotta do.
right now. You will do when you told to do it, and without question. Do you understand? Yes, sir.
Day 1 of boot camp, you arrive at the receiving barracks where they take their first steps toward becoming Marines. By walking through overhead, symbolizing the threshold between the outside world and Paris Island. Once inside, send straight to their platoons. After graduation,
I don't try my own to give it.
around $20,000 to a family member recruiter. Let them know they've arrived.
I know.
Only be allowed to show you where you're
And we'll provide a phone call last 79 days. This direct bye for now.
Every day, they do of them. They just calling people crazy, but they talking, they yelling at you.
Not everyone is able to make a connection. In Paris, 8 in Diego, where only male recruits are trained. Around 20,000 graduate from Paris Island every year before joining the more than 180,000 Marines actively serving today.
You take young men and women from all walks of life. Maybe they were rich, maybe they were poor. They've got different religious backgrounds. They are the melting pot of America. And they come here with one common goal, is to be a States Marine.
Parris Island, South Carolina. Here, everyday Americans become Marines.
Yeah, somebody out there will shoot that down here. Now I say, I'm be training in the California out here. We are raw country Africa. I got a man. Country African, man. When I see Lamborghini before. That is legal.
They say life is all about making choices.
Officially, Africa.
Well, I didn't choose metastatic breast cancer.
No, America did it. Let me talk it.
Mutation. But I did pick hope. And also by knowing I have a treatment that goes right at it.
Discover Pickray, the first and only treatment that specific PIK3CA mutations and HR positive HER2 negative MBC, which are common and linked to cancer. Pickray is taken after proven on hormone therapy and has been proven to help people with the PIK3CA mutation live longer without disease progression. Take Pickray if you've had a severe allergic reaction to it or to any of its ingredients. Pickray can watch you before you start and during treatment.
And so that then put in stop to it.
Diabetes, skin reactions. Common side effects include weakness. If you progress on hormone PIK3CA mutation, ask your doctor about Pickray.
Male recruit trained at Paris Island since 1915. Female recruits began to train there in 1949.
Oh God!
Their typical wake-up call is 0400 or 4 a.m. Challenge.
Much
of their training.
God damn.
get.
All right, don't give me any
Regardless of how they started.
Well, I got down.
Please help. I don't want to do this. I don't. No, I'm not. Please.
Any recruit with a fear of heights gets the fear, courtesy of this 47-foot tall tower. Recruits must rappel down using two.
For me, the buzz hour was hard because I sort of had a fear of heights.
Grab on my right hand with your right hand.
You have to trust the road. Nothing to be worried about. You'll be safe all the time.
Can you please help me?
I'm trying to help you.
I don't want to go down.
I think that he ain't balling. Yeah, man, yeah, many you know they just send a dog to us on purpose. Yeah, that man do it.
Recruits are exposed to CS.
And the only reason she's doing it, if you are using charm, it makes sense why she's sending a dog to you.
Once the recruits enter the
that's why we're telling you, he trying to say that normal life. You just send dog to all.
The recruits are free.
You there working with people like balling. Whereby we telling you I got nothing to do with the whole thing.
Definitely,
Yeah, you're there working with balling.
To be able to breathe in and not feel an instant burning sensation.
Shaper is important because it builds confidence. Confidence in the gear, confidence in the drill shoulders, and then confidence in themselves.
Yeah, be scratching training is boss.
The pupil stick techniques are intended to mirror those used in combat while using a bayonet.
On the weapon. So anything that you strike with that red tip, 9 times out of 10 are either going to be incapacitated or laid to rest. Honestly, it gives them an opportunity to blow off a little steam. Check out.
Go back, chop.
Are separated by gender. And although the recruit team has ended with integration before, the Marine Corps is the only military branch that separates male.
A long time now. I did
first a Roman. Recruits spend the bulk of 2 weeks devoted to marksmanship, first of which shots actually fired.
The only reason that be like this. Oh,
recovery with a rifle.
Oh, yeah, everything that just making them go crazy.
For every single Marine, regardless of what kind of thing, just sit behind a rifle, look down that barrel, and be able to put lead on target.
Amphibious warfare force. Therefore,
I think you know you yourself, you are living in a kind of area.
During swim week, recruits while wearing their camouflage uniform.
We're grateful for what you bring. And all the thousands of
they're doing something to you, we telling them to stop using.
But training at Paris Island isn't physical.
They're doing so charm, they're using
classroom. But what may seem like
they go talk and I think in secret we don't know where, boy.
When a drill instructor decides
if it ain't talking, then he and balling in the living room. So charm business their own.
And then you realize, okay, that hurt, so let's not do that again.
Yeah. Then we coming outside the room again. Another charm.
I never worried about
we're talking later, but I'm like, yo.
And we want to bring them back up into the mold of what it is to be a United States Marine.
What am I? Ah, man, I'm scared to kiss. Let me tell you, kissing.
Training culminates in an event known over the course of 54 hours with minimal sleep, realistic combat scenarios. The sounds of gunfire and shelling are played over speakers. Recruits are forced to work together to overcome obstacles and achieve objectives that require problem solving and strategy.
You gotta start all over. Yes, sir.
Okay. Let's do some Chris Tucker here.
This is what we saw on the second day. The recruits had become exhausted and irritable.
Catch is ready. Ready. Jump it. Jump away.
That's my dream.
Not even jumping. I said, you just fall.
Wait, but that's something that is the same thing that going on. They just wasting people time.
Really rough time.
I mean, yeah, because they say that they want to see somebody. They also Jala Baba. Jala Baba, then they just wasting somebody's time.
You're like, well, he's doing it. I gotta keep going. Like, I'm not gonna let him do it on his own.
Jackie Abe, man. Jackie Abe. Jackie. They've been taking all the glue, everything. They go and put it out.
The day before
Jackie
graduation,
Abe.
families see their new Marines for the first time in more than 3 months.
I start doing it now. I stop it now.
Difference.
Cross that deck on train day 7 and they graduate. They're no longer recruits.
Go to a school telling them to stop it. They don't want to stop. They get there and see them laughing. Oh, they're laughing at Monday. I said they're taking the thing to be funny. They just talking all kind of things. Oh, yeah, you know, these children, they play too much. Not at all. When you telling them something, they just need to discipline the children. Jackie Abe, man. This will. Every day they just call your habit where they can already be calling you crazy even though you're not crazy. I told you one of y'all got one to be normal.
Make sure that they are prepared to handle anything they may encounter in the field, no matter what obstacle is thrown at them.
On a hot week in April, amid an intensifying crisis, we spent 4 days inside the academy, allowing us to observe different classes that state the 6-month training program, and to find out if the training is adequately preparing these future candidates for visit to the academy in April. Most of the training that we saw focused on law enforcement scenarios, like this one.
Incredible. Mr. Incredible.
¡Señor, no se mueva! ¡No, ponte lista, no! ¡Ay, stop! ¡No te gun! ¡No se mueva, señor!
Agency, but are future agents getting the training they need for the humanitarian crisis at the border? Numbers of migrants, many of them children, crossed the border to seek asylum in the United States.
The nation's children have died in since September.
As families come here to claim asylum, fleeing violence and poverty, and in the northern triangle countries of Central
Initially screened, migrants seeking asylum in the US are held detention centers. Many of these centers are operated by the Border Patrol in conjunction with other government agencies, become the object of intense scrutiny.
The feds have now moved nearly 300 migrant children out of river.
A team of attorneys without adequate food, water, and sanitation.
Outbreaks.
John Sanders tendered his resignation.
In that last facility,
Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio compared the conditions of the detention centers to concentration camps. Although is Spanish that was specifically focused on working in the centers. In a statement to Business Insider, detention officer duties, adding further train the new age officers. When asked if the academy had any future plans to change it, any such plans exist. So, what kind of training Border Patrol agents get at the academy, and how did we get here in the first place? Border Patrol was established in 1924 with 2 stations at the U.S.-Mexico border in El Paso, Texas, and near the Canadian border in Detroit. Its main objective: combating bootleggers, smuggling liquor.
Hoocher beer was discovered by the feds. It met the same fate. Crack open the kegs and met the contents.
It was a very bloody time. We lost over 31 officers during that time period. There were times when there were shootouts to it.
We built it big, like the one at Washington. Texas begins where Mexico leaves off, and nowadays along the whole 1,000 miles across
In the 1950s, a number of migrants from Mexico officially back, named after a racist slur used to describe Mexican migrants. Over 1 million reported, and Border Patrol enforcement activities plummeted. That is, rocketed to the holes in decades.
Okay, units, let's set it off. Same position. There's enough to keep us busy for a while.
Since the legal crossings have increased, and the Border Patrol has continued to be scrutinized for allegations of mistreatment toward migrants.
The U.S. Customs and Border Protection has launched an investigation into a secret Facebook group. Border Patrol agents posted sexist memes and jokes about migrant deaths.
According to ProPublica, it had 9,500 members.
We take all of the posts that were put out today very seriously.
Today, about 19,000 men and women act the biggest gender gap of agent patrol agents are.
We are honored that over half patrol agent minorities serve as a majority in the Border Patrol. They want to protect and serve the communities where they're from.
So how are Border Patrol agents prepared to field at the Border Patrol Academy in Artesia, about 200 miles from the exports refined oil. Border Patrol agents. Every year, about 1,000 trainees graduate from the academy before heading to the field. Trainees meet in El Paso.
I first decided to go to the Marines and
continue my career path. I just wanted something a little bit more different. So I did my research, and Border Patrol was much up that alley to what I was looking for.
Well, it's a symbol of excellence, a symbol of pride that people are willing to fit the United States of America. A very dangerous job. So those type of people deserve respect, and I want to be one of those types of people.
Thousands more agents are needed in the field, but his historical struggle to recruit and retain them. For the next few class will experience entry on duty, or EOD, which forces trainees to follow basic commands under extreme psychological stress.
Arrest 20 people if you can't even speak loudly.
They're going to be put under stress, and there's a reason behind that.
Why?
U.S. patrol
They have to be able to receive directions, they have to be able to make decisions, and then they have to be able to execute those decisions or actions under stress. I appreciate they're here. I understand the sacrifice, their commitment to duty. However, you're a Border Patrol trainee and you're going to start getting indoctrinated in our world. Get prepared for this profession.
Why are you shaking?
For war.
You shaking? He's scared. That's what's wrong, man. He gets to the field. He's gonna be scared. He ain't making it into the field. But a shame. You think that's gonna look good? No, it's not. I think the criminals are gonna like it.
Nobody. They gotta be well armed, well protected.
We'll teach you how not to be scared. Last I checked, sir.
Gotta put on all that right clothes for that infant. Oh yeah, got it, man. Coming down. Oh man, sweet home. Ah man, I sound bad.
The officer caught a group of them laughing and joking. They were quickly corrected.
Yeah, man. You know that,
Well, it's forced you to be here. You're welcome to leave anytime you like. You look for a way out. Oh, sir. The way out is on the bus. Look at me.
We got 3 devices on it.
We learned
Email.
some instructors worried about
Phone,
using language
computer.
that encouraged trainees to quit, even though it was
FedEx.
part of the intended stress.
We're not trying to get people to quit. That's certainly not the intent. Our senior leadership historically and now has been supportive that yes, absolutely, we need more agents out there on the line getting the job done, but that we don't need to lower our standards.
New trainees.
Hey, go throw some more bread. Wow, what is all bread,
that high stress levels, it goes up, it goes down, and these things subside.
Do the right thing when no one
started to change.
trust me, I'm telling you this. You will succeed if you listen to me. Yes, sir.
Have access to our other ways to win. Don't miss a minute of
I know what they see white people.
Rugged terrain.
Yeah, go crazy.
Life-size sectional replicas of 13 different certifications. And it all starts with trainees spend 178 hours in the physical techniques department. Trainees also have to spend time. They're prepared to jump from high elevations using this an apparatus. If these things
got a boy
OC exposure.
One art thing so take me to court.
going to do to them should it be used against us.
Jockey, man.
After being sprayed, trainees have to describe vehicles parked hundreds of yards away.
How many cars do you see? Cars. You have to open your eyes up in order to see the suspect. You have to open your eyes up. Hey! No, there's not. You have to open your eyes in order to see. Get down, girl!
Detain him and successfully call for backup.
Heels have a team. Take on the 30.
Finally, they're able to wash off the OC. But the pain lingers.
So how do you feel now? You see what?
Yeah,
That is probably the B word thing I've felt. I'm able to see it.
Yeah.
Another major.
When they leave the academy, most day they're going to be operating within a vehicle. That will be their office for the day. They may be out in the desert rain to pursue a vehicle at high rates of speed through a scenario.
Where are you, dude?
Trainees spend over 130 hours with the firearms department.
I don't understand. I don't understand. Where are you, dude?
Of the rifle, we start very slowly.
Okay.
We just initially give them a firearm and we say, okay, look at this weapon. Touch this weapon. There's no ammunition, there's no magazine. Let's take the weapon off the holster. Let's start getting acclimated to how this weapon feels. And then we move on to the
in the line, yeah, feed, doing all kind of things.
And that really is the culmination.
Once the trainees learn how to use firearms, they learn
God.
to use them. As judgment, trainees are rollers who may or may not be a threat. Some role players are armed with weapons, others only with cell phones. The trainees apply their skills in a variety of tactical scenarios, such as a hostage situation with an active.
They will go believe their friend and they count on you. When you play, they just play Bennett.
Well as detailed agents
and play it too much.
Academy assigned on a rotational basis.
That's why suck.
Your Spanish language will be their education affordable. Learn more about UW Platinum's programs.
To at least be able to have they do their job.
Trainees spend 1 represents less death of their total career, most of which is focused on law enforcement. What we did not observe during our TIJA any scenarios that specifically involved working in
My name
detention
is
centers
Halle
or
Berry.
children instructed to work with Pearson told Business Insider that the Border Patrol Academy trains and teaches agents about policies and regulations to the current case precedent that governs children in short-term custody. We asked CBP what level of responsibility the Academy should bear in terms of preparing Border Patrol agents to deal with the current situation at many processing centers. He said, Border Patrol Academy has implemented the medical emergency decision scenarios, or MEDS, into curriculum.
This is a medical response, so they have to approach the injured subject. They have to determine what is wrong with the injured subject. That way, they are able to get the subject help as soon as possible.
This is not a scenario. This footage was shot at the Mexico border in El Paso, where Border Patrol agents have to screen hundreds of migrants crossing into the U.S. and oversee crowded detention centers where migrants wait for days and even weeks to be processed. As a new class prepares to graduate, are they ready to our to see their loved ones before they're deployed?
Commodore! Retard! The color! Less than 100 years, and we have 128 duty deaths. That's more than one a year. That's too many.
At the beginning of
We're trying to change. But
oh my God, man. My God, man.
We're going to prepare them from day one how to take
I
care of
you.
their partners, the people that they encounter, never to be treated, and then go home to their family. I look back and say, everyone's willing to put my life on the line for this country, and I served admirably, and I made a difference in the protection of America.
Is just class 1120. That's the group we first met on the bus from El Paso. And we were on hand with the message Academy Chief Dan M. Harris Jr. delivered to the class on day one of their training.
And there are let me be crystal clear.
Yeah, see somebody they know me. I don't know them. That time,
There are men and women out there on the street. Back up. They need your help out there right now. I need you to graduate from this academy.
That credit.
Day 120.
On that Microsoft. So. Down there, my class. You make it out. Yeah. Too stupid.
You got what it takes. Apply now at EDU.
Oh no. Oh. You know what? I've been down. I've been down before. Giá đã có sáng there that thing wrong. Oh yeah, they go pick on me. So that why what I do nothing wrong that one.
I'm a humanitarian person in Wisconsin.
It's the yeah, I like that. Bound out the passport. You carry it in wrong.
Was the most major order in the country.
Tempo. Remember, tell you see.
Yes. No. I do cook.
Ah, my God. Secret Service. And that's the FBI. All work right here.
Be successful. So please, losing me, so I'll tell you. No. I'll get all the yeah, that you say that real thing, you go say that real thing that because they place the charm about it. That's something that was planned by them. They are the one that they're the one that plan the TV. This is a video of us capturing the command. I want to say something. I can't hear you. They wiping my face. Some coming to some living it all. Yeah, that's it. Whatever. What?
Yeah, get it. That's good forward. Now, yeah,
we take you to the
Challenge them to stop.
Republic, a country that's never
Then
known
they go say, we square.
coalition known as the Celica seized power. Okay, bring any kind of security to the country.
Oh, we're trying to tell them, say, I don't have. Yeah, telling them to stop. Then they're talking different.
They've had a unique insight. My energy bills and cold strappy rules are power and will provide effective long-term solutions. Now, because this doctor makes house
Phones ring out on the streets.
Every
morning, FBI the Central African Republic. The FPRC, an armed group with a Muslim majority, complete control over the entire north of the country, an area rich with natural resources on the borders with Admin and Sudan. And then
Have we? We've arrived. We're going to see the village chief.
Okay. An entire village.
Here to find diamonds, all you have to do is dig. There were
the mine extends as far as several meters depth. Almost. Another mine, they have a shadow also because of international export. Diamonds from them to the UN 20 followed the imposition of mines like this one. The waiting to be oil dated the paramilitaries. The Russians have been invited clearly. The Russians also trying to make rules.
Hello. Man from Dodo Town, Kulam District, Upa County. Party in Liberia, party in Liberia has a problem. Liberia is wounded. You are going to be here. Right organizations. America, France, the situation is unique. Family and friends. Let me just want to do video very quickly. You are going to be hearing from speakers like Gabriel Bassman, journalist, and the rest of it.
Use charm. Let me talk.
And Charles Taylor. These are the major destroyers in the public.
That's what okay. Yeah, that day because we do that day wrong. Well, I do what I want. I can't go. I'm going nowhere. Whoa. So yeah, leader. Real. Yeah, leader. Weak. Oh, stupid man.
Now, please let President of Liberian president or the descendants
I wanna we are fighting.
that have ruled
So yeah, man, open wall. Man, open fire.
information. What was ruled? Leadership of Liberia.
Fire us up, man. Hold on. What that will lead them? You know, I command up.
I want to present to you now.
How about you? Yeah. Oh, everybody.
Political party entrenched in power for more than 100 years. This country was the best. Teachers was born in the need of steam of increasingly so it became our union. He was the last president of the Republic of Liberia. Liberian of Liberia. Meet Dr. Wayne Alatupo. He was the president when the happy Liberians were killed in the price of rice. So there was no right to restrict. Meet Wayne.
Got it.
His efforts to modernize the economy came up the oil supply party hardliners with fighting. General perception continued to be that the ruling elite consists only of people with American ancestry.
Now,
Be a America flash wall. Man, I get glad.
It's been 11 years since the end of the Civil War. These scenes became familiar in homes across the world. People watched their TV screens in shock and they were not much taller than the guns they carried around. The 13-year conflict is now forgotten for the most part as the media covers it wars.
I got that one we got travel anyway. Your eye.
July 1990, when he was 11 years old.
You are die.
Were killed after his father refused to join the army.
Oh, I got my kid. Right there. Man, I ain't got by the flow move.
Anything that Liberia. More than 20 children were critical.
Oh, what?
They were given drugs to numb their sense of right and wrong.
Yeah, but off what?
Conflict dates back to before World War I because they are.
If the commander came and they killed the whole horse, killed everyone. You kill those people, and besides, we were always. I realized that using objective.
Left the battlefield.
They were sending them.
He founded ID.
Oh yeah, because the kids they got no chance
It helps ex-fighters who can't move
of winning what they are together.
to crime to find their habits, feed themselves in police custody during night raids. If you look at the pattern, the drug, any crime, or